Hey guys, my name is Ryan Barton Grimley. As you can see, you're on my YouTube channel. Welcome. I just wanted to say Happy New Year. For those of you who don't know, my name is Ryan Barton Grimley. I'm a director and producer, writer, and actor. I make feature films for myself. I've produced 5 so far. 3 are out there in the world. You can probably find them in the links below. And I have 2 that are about to go out into the world. So I thought it might be a pretty interesting idea to talk more about my process in public in 2021, because there are a lot of opportunities for someone to watch these kind of directorial producer confessionals that I'm going to do. If you're interested in being a director or a writer or a producer or even an actor. So what my goal is to talk about the 3 projects that are in really different stages that I've been working on. One is Hawk and Rev Vampire Slayers. So this is a feature film horror comedy. I directed, wrote, and played the lead role of Hawk Hawkins, the Vampire Slayer. It's like this awesome, cheesy B-movie on purpose horror comedy that's super dumb and funny, almost like Dumb and Dumber meets Lost Boys, but with like a ton of gore. It's just kind of coming off of a great festival run, mostly non-horror film festivals, but quite a few horror film festivals as well. We had our premiere at Dances with Films, and it's going to be released later this spring. So I think it's a unique time to kind of see the behind the scenes of how that all happens for an independent horror comedy. I also have this psychological horror film that I wrote and directed and played the lead role in called Listen Carefully, that I'm just in the final stages of the edit. I think it's a really interesting time to see it post-screening. Like, we already did a kind of a screening for notes with an audience and what have you just right before COVID happened. So I've been executing those notes while I was delivering Hawk and Rev to festivals. So I think it'll be really an interesting opportunity to see a movie finish up and then how to get into festivals. Thirdly, I'm right at the beginning stages of writing this awesome new film to shoot the minute COVID restrictions end, called Don't You Be My Neighbor, which is this great horror comedy about a true crime podcaster who gets contacted by a serial killer who claims to have information about his most favorite cold case, which he even has a personal connection to. So I don't know, like, I wanted to do something recently where I can give back to the indie film community, because I've been just super lucky not only to be healthy and not be touched so far by COVID, but just to have a job at all during this time, and to have like a couple projects on the verge of coming out and one in the wings and funding for that. I just feel super blessed. So I kind of want to give back and give like a background to how that stuff actually works, as opposed to how people think it does, or the publicity stories that talk about it. I just think it'd be really cool and helpful for any kind of filmmaker who's trying to do the same thing. And I'm happy to really shine the spotlight on a lot of that stuff. Distribution, film festivals, post-production, my whole writing process. And I mean, if COVID restrictions end, you'll probably get to be on board while I shoot this film and kind of see that whole process in the beginning of post, which is really cool. And I think will illuminate how to really do that in a very simple, small way with a crew of, 3 to 5 people and not a lot of resources, because that's basically how I've done every film. Yeah, I'm an actual indie filmmaker. Like, I've produced 5 features on a shoestring and directed 4 of them. I mean, that's where the rubber hits the road, right? Things I won't do on this channel over the next year. I will not do gear reviews that I don't use. I'm gonna be super militant about that. And that goes for gear, apps, tips, swag, whatever. I'm not in it for that. I will talk about the software I use and tricks behind that kind of stuff to get things done really fast and efficiently and easily. I'm not a guy who went to film school. I've just kind of dedicated my life to trying to make movies for about 20 years, and about 10 years ago I got to make my first one. That's kind of where I'm coming from, and I look forward to kind of just showing what it's really like and how to really go through the steps for real, because there's a lot of videos out there that will show you how to white balance your camera or do a transition in Premiere. There's not a lot of videos about how to work with actors. There's not a lot of videos that talk about production design. There's not a lot of videos that talk about on-set audio and how important that is, and audio mixing, how important that is, and connecting with the people who program film festivals. There's not a lot of videos out there that really talk about the real process of what to do once you have a film in the can, and really not a lot of videos about independent distribution and what that's really like. Oh, and one last thing that I'm also gonna talk about quite a bit more than like gear and all that stuff is like the actual creative process, staying positive and motivated. How do you manage your time in these different parts of the process? How do you give it your best and not settle? Really find your own voice. There's no formula. I really can't emphasize enough how much all of the actual like internal stuff is important as an artist to do this stuff. I'm just really excited to kind of give back, and I hope to see you guys leaving comments on all the videos in 2021. Again, I want to thank you really for tuning in. Please hit the button to subscribe, and I look forward to illuminating a lot more of that stuff. Again, Happy New Year, guys, and I wish you all the best. I hope you and your family are safe, and I look forward to some kind of dialogue in 2021 with all of you. All right, take care.